Hello everybody and welcome to InTalk, the live talk show hosted by Inholland for the second day of the Introweek. Today we're going to be talking about various topics from the perspective of both the students and the faculty of Inholland. So sit back, relax and enjoy. My name is Peter Hussar and this is InTalk.
Today at InTalk. Shinta Jimenez Pospito and Alina Istominova about studying abroad and the first 2 years of university. Philip Corsius, more than just an Inholland teacher. And Billy Buckley and Lennox Jeffers about ICB's own study association at Gardill. This is InTalk with Peter Hussar.
So hello again. Hi.
Hi there.
Joining me as our first set of guests, we have Shinta and Alina. Shinta is from the second year now, and Alina is now entering the third year. So girls, if you could introduce yourselves first,
Okay.
I'm gonna give you the floor.
Well, like Peter said, hi, my name is Shinta. I am 18 years old. I come from Spain, but my mom's Indonesian. That's all there is to it.
I'm Alina. I'm a third-year student, as Peter already mentioned. I'm Ukrainian, 20 years old, and I'm starting my internship in a week. So,
Wow. What is your internship going to be?
I'm gonna be a content coordinator at Viacom. So basically, working with like Nickelodeon projects and MTV. So that's gonna be fun.
Wait, did you say Nickelodeon?
Yeah, because
Wow.
Viacom owns those companies. So
See, that's the kind of exciting stuff we get to do here in Holland. That's really cool. Nice. Okay. Well, could you first of all tell me a little bit about what made you join Inholland in the first place? You know, because I'm sure that the students that are here already have their reasons on why they joined, but it is still nice to hear what made you come here, guys.
Right. So I'm.
go for it.
Okay. Well, to be fair, I don't necessarily have a clear answer, but I remember scrolling through, finding universities and scrolling through all of them, and none of them really caught my attention except this one, specifically because, there's a lot of, hands-on action in the course. You work with real clients and everything is really hands-on, and you, basically you don't just write and sit, essays the entire day. You, really have hands-on experience, which is something that really caught my attention from all the other universities, and that's probably one of the main reasons why I chose this course.
Yeah, I think I also like that it's 50-50, so it's business and creative. So I wanted to combine
creative.
both of those sides, because I'm not that 100% creative, I guess. So I wanted to do that, mix it up a bit.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay, that's really cool. So do you think you have more of the creative or more of the business side?
Oh, definitely more creative.
Okay.
Yeah, I just do not like numbers and all that stuff, so that's always the hardest thing to do in this course. But I'm handling it okay. I think.
That's why you two work so well together. You complete each
Stop
other.
this.
Yeah. Okay, so as I said, everybody had their own reasons on why they joined. But what I'm more curious about is what made you guys stay. Because Alina, you've been here for 2 years, which is quite a lot. Probably by now you're staying here for good.
Yep.
And Shinta, you've been here for a whole year.
Yeah.
So what made you guys stay?
Can I?
Yeah, of course.
Well, I really like the study because it gives you, like Shinta mentioned, a lot of experience in the field already. So, since the first year, we already work with clients, and this is impressive.
Right.
So we can add a lot of things on our resume, which is great, So I'm not gonna give coffee to anyone when I finish the study. So that's great,
Hopefully.
Well, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But also I like the community, because the school is not that big, let's just say, so everyone knows each other, and I just love walking into school and being like, hey, yo, what's up, how you doing?
Maybe that's just you. Don't know if that's everyone, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for me, the thing that I'm looking forward to the most, that's why I'm staying, is the internship. And in the third year, you're gonna go ahead and do it now, so I'm really excited for that. That's why I'm staying on. That's something to look forward to, I guess. And also, the thing that keeps me here, basically, and wanting to stay here, is also the people, the community, like you said, the people that I have here and that I found. It feels like a home away from home, basically. I have another house here, and it's that's what makes me want to stay.
Really sweet. Just to cut this off for a second, you guys can actually send us your questions at any point to Shinta and Alina. We're going to be compiling them and then answering them at the end of each of the segments that we have, because we have free guests in total. So feel free to write your questions in the chat. We'll compile them all together. But coming back to what you guys said one by one, Alina, first of all, you said that you get a lot of experience.
Yeah.
Now you actually have experience already, right? Not just working with the clients inside of the school, because we're going to talk about the first year a little bit in a moment.
Yeah.
But you have experience outside of that from your own initiative, which is the most important thing,
that's
right?
true. I like that we also, we don't go to school every single day, so we have time for developing ourselves in other areas or like more in depth, let's just say. So since the first year, I'm a part of the IAM organization, which basically organizes parties and events for international students, and it's a lot of fun. I'm in the events department, which is great. I also did a few projects extra, also was a part of SMT, but I think we're gonna cover that later
talk about
on.
because probably nobody really knows what the SMT is, but we're gonna get to that.
Yep.
And you, Shinta, you mentioned something that caught my attention as well, which was that we have a small school, which, on paper, it can sound a little bit like, oh, it's a little bit of a smaller building, but it is a really, really big advantage in a lot of the cases.
Definitely.
Because it feels like, it really feels like you know everybody. It really feels like you're connected.
Definitely.
And when we were rehearsing this, you said something also about like the faculty, right?
Right. Like how it's like a family, and not only like with the students, but also with like the teachers and everything. The relationships that we are able to make, since it's kind of small, we're able to make such much better connections with like teachers and other students. Like it's really nice. I love it.
And if I can add, also teachers participate in a lot of events for students. Like for example, we have a theater group, which you probably already talked about, Peter.
Actually, I haven't yet. Surprisingly, no. No.
But we have improv leagues there too, and as guests, we also have teachers who help us out and judge the competitions and stuff. So that's nice.
Yeah, in the theaters.
We are going to talk about the theater more in the morning show tomorrow. We have a whole segment about that, so there is something to look forward to there. If the morning show is something that interests you, which if it does, why? That's a really nice. We actually have coming up after you, Philip Garcias, who is a coach here, who is a great example of why it feels so great to be connected with the teachers as well, and why it is actually possible to function in such a way, and that we're not actually exaggerating, and it is the truth that that. You'll see that in a moment.
I remember when we had questions about like how everything was going to go with the pandemic and stuff, like people started DMing Philip Corsius on Instagram. Like, we get along that well. We follow each other. I'm going to shout out to Philip's Instagram.
Yeah, we can plug it up.
Yeah, like to be fair, it was so weird to me because I was like, I would never expect to follow my teacher on Instagram, and like just go through his stories.
Very few people respond to my stories as frequently as
It's great. I love it.
Definitely, yeah.
It's great.
Okay, so coming to the first year, right? We should talk about a little bit about that, because I'm sure that the students are quite curious how that's going to go. So who wants to start? First of all, I'm going to introduce it. We have 4 modules in the first year. Those are smart concepts, all areas, streaming emotions, and
behind the scenes.
Fun.
So you can already see what is Shinta's favorite module, so you can start talking about that. Actually, we're going to start there.
Well, behind the scenes, it was kind of sad because my favorite module was going to be done during the pandemic, so I wasn't really able to be part of the like filming and editing as much, like especially not filming, which was really sad because I was very excited about it. We basically had to make a video for our client, which was Inholland itself, and we had to make a video that would create some sort of community feeling. Like when you're watching it, you have to create this sort of community feeling, which was so much fun. And my team was so great. Like it was definitely one of my favorite ones, even though I was like so far away from everyone back in Spain, but it was still really, I love it so much.
So we actually have the video ready now that we can showcase. It's 1.5 minutes long, I believe. So we're going to cut to the video now. So please enjoy what our first year students already get to create.
Hi, my name is Charlie. I'm 22 years old and I'm from Germany. I'm a first-year ICB student at Inholland University of Applied Science.
What do you like about studying in The Hague?
First of all, I really love the beach because I always have a great time there. I really love that the city is so international and that everyone speaks English. I also love the food here. It's really great, especially the Thai food. And then I also love that the city has so much to offer for international students, like events and parties.
Did you encounter any culture shocks coming to the Netherlands?
Since I'm from Germany, I didn't really have that because I feel like Germany and the Netherlands are kind of similar in a lot of ways, so yeah.
How would you define the community at Inholland?
I would say that everyone kind of gets along with everyone, which is really great. And people are really open-minded and don't really judge people, no matter if that's based on ethnicities or sexualities.
How has the community at Inholland made your experience better?
So in Germany I sometimes struggled with being myself because I felt like people are judging me, and I don't have that at all here in Holland because people are so open-minded, as I said. And yeah, that's really great.
When you got to The Hague, did you feel welcome or maybe alone?
So at first I kind of struggled finding close friends because at first you get to know so many people, so the relationships I had were kind of shallow. But over time I really found my people and I'm really grateful for having them in my life.
What has been one of your best memories of university?
That's definitely Introweek because we did so many amazing things and I got to know a lot of people and it was just a great way to start off the first year.
How would you describe the Inholland community in one sentence?
To me, Inholland is kind of like a second family.
And welcome back. So, thank you very much for the video that you made. I'm sure the people loved it. I did.
So
Don't be so modest, please. Okay, so that's what you did for your behind-the-scenes project, right? And that took roughly 3 months all in all, right? Not to make the video.
Okay.
But you received some theory beforehand.
Right.
The whole term, the whole module takes roughly 2.5 months.
Yeah,
ish.
something like that. Working up to that final project.
Of course,
yeah.
of course.
Yeah,
That's honestly really cool. Is there something you would like to say about behind the scenes? Your favorite, like some highlights or what you really enjoyed about it?
I don't know.
What the students can look forward to, maybe.
Well, it's definitely really fun, like filming and editing and like creating a video for like Inholland itself. Like you're like creating, and also, honestly, the most rewarding thing I think was when they posted it on their Instagram. Like Inholland themselves posted it on their Instagram, which was like such a rewarding thing. Like after working on it for so long and seeing that it paid off, like they enjoyed it themselves, like the clients enjoyed it themselves. It's like really rewarding. I love it.
That's what's really cool in a lot of cases, that you actually get the recognition for the work that you
Yeah.
do. It's not just that you work on a paper and then it gets thrown in the trash, but you
Right.
actually work on a project that then gets, put out somewhere, and that's really cool.
Yeah,
nice.
exactly.
I really like that. So, Alina, what was actually your favorite module from the first year? If you can go back in the memory lane to your...
I would say there was all areas, and
Okay.
I know everyone hates it.
It's a little bit controversial.
Well, yeah, we just mixed feelings about it, but I really loved it. It's mostly focused on events. So, and I was working on something I really was passionate about because I could do research and like develop more like a strategy for CGET, which is like a music festival. And it was my dream to go there for like 4 years. And then I went after I was done with like my project.
Right.
It was like so great. I was just like, and my grades were good, so I was just like not bragging about it. But it was fun, honestly.
So because all areas is more of a business focus, that's really the contrast of creative business, where behind the scenes
Right.
is the creative element and all areas is the businessy side.
Yeah. I mean, there is like aspects of like both
Yeah,
in all of them,
absolutely.
but it is more focused on business. And I think one thing that you said is actually very important. This is a tip actually for you guys.
Okay.
That you need to, obviously, you get a chance to choose a lot of the things that you want to like work on. Like you could choose the event that you wanted to work for, like on, and like for behind the scenes, you could choose the type. Well,
you write the whole
you
video.
yeah, exactly. That's true. And like also in Streaming Emotions, another one, you get to choose which artist and which genre you want to focus on.
Yeah.
So the number one thing is that choose something that you already enjoy. Like, don't make it hard on yourself, like harder for yourself. Because I remember choosing. That's probably why I didn't enjoy all areas that much. Because I chose a circus event and a circus festival, which was like, it was fun, but like I wasn't interested in like the circus industry. So that's what made it.
Industry,
That's what made it harder, I think.
So basically, but you were in charge of your own happiness essentially, because it was your choice at the end of the day that determined everything. So that's a really good point as well. That you have so much freedom to do what you like. Yeah. Which is going to inevitably mean that sometimes you're going to end up missing. But that's what makes you learn the most, and that's what's almost the most beautiful when that happens and you get to look back at that.
Right, exactly.
So we have 2 more modules we should talk about, and that's Streaming Emotions. Can you girls talk about Streaming Emotions?
Oh, I like that one too.
Yeah,
honestly,
that one was really fun
because
too.
it mostly focuses on music and
the music industry.
yeah,
and
creating
it's really
like
cool.
a strategy for an artist.
Yeah,
right?
to like get like bigger, like to make it, the artists like get bigger, basically. It's really interesting, and what I loved about it too is that they brought in like an actual person who was working in the industry and like he did a talk show and like talked about the actual music industry, from a person who is working in the music industry, which was really, really interesting. Like, it's really cool.
I remember that lecture.
That
was like the music producer, and he actually like
he worked with 50 Cent, with Cardi
Bruno
B,
Mars,
just
the way you are, the song that was like him.
He produced it,
and he was doing a masterclass.
Yeah,
he did a masterclass.
It was so cool.
Yeah.
Oh my
it was
gosh.
really cool. Like talking to someone who worked with Bruno Mars, I'm like, it was really, it was really, really
That's
cool.
really great. Yeah.
Indeed, yeah.
And because part of the Streaming Emotions module is that you get to sort of you first try to find an artist that isn't popular yet, and I always like to say the artist I picked was Luis Capaldi. Before he got famous actually, so I kind of discovered Luis Capaldi as my as the thought that I would like to leave this with. So
because you have to do like a lot of research, and then you find so many artists you like, and you're just like, oh wow.
It's like right before he blew up, he had like 50k followers on Instagram.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And then he just suddenly was like, yes.
It was thanks to your project. Like, it was all thanks to you.
Oh, but also we forgot to mention that it's not only we're choosing an artist, but also a genre.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mentioned that.
So the final module that we have left is Smart Concepts.
Right.
That was actually my favorite module.
Yeah, that was fun too.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun for me because we got to work with the municipality of The Hague.
Wow.
I'm not sure what client did you guys
I
work
had
with?
UNICEF.
Okay, that's also
wow.
really
That's
cool.
also really cool. I had an event in
Rotterdam. Was it World Days? Was it
no, it was like we had to make a booth. I remember we had to make a booth for it's not a festival, but the types of like where there's a lot of companies that go in and there's little booths and you go in around like a little. I don't know how to call that. But yeah, like one like that in Rotterdam, and we had to design a booth of like Inholland for that.
Nice.
Part,
So also
really cool.
very varied assignments like municipality, UNICEF, an event like a company marketing sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's a lot of diversity there again.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So that's first year in a nutshell, right?
Ooh.
Oh.
First year in a nutshell. My favorite. I wanted to mention it before.
Oh right.
The first day I came in, like I remember it vividly because it was like the highlight of my first year. Basically, I came into class and the first thing that they did was like, okay, we need to pick our teams, and they were like, okay, everyone take off one shoe, and I was like, okay, what is happening? We had to take off one shoe, and we all put them in a pile, and basically they chose our groups like picking out different like shoes from the pile, which was really cool. And luckily enough, I had a great team, like thanks to like the shoes. Thanks to my shoes, which is really fun. Yeah, I just wanted to mention that because I thought it was really fun the first day.
Yeah, and stuff like this happens pretty much all the time. Sometimes it's super weird, to be honest. But when it works, it really works as well, which is the beauty of it.
It's fun.
So, because that means that we have high highs,
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a lot of fun. Okay, anything else you would like to mention about the first year? Or shall we move to the second year? Of course, we're going to get back to the questions from the viewers again at the end of the segment. If they have any more questions about the first year, feel free to ask them. So the second year, right? We're going to just briefly touch on that because that's quite far away, but just so the students know what they can expect and they can look forward to. So Alina, going through the second year quite recently, in the second semester you were a part of the SMT.
Yep, I was.
What is the SMT? Because it is part of a larger module
Yeah.
called Creative Agency,
Yeah.
right? So if you can talk a little bit about
So
that.
let's just like say that the second year is divided into two modules: creative agency and international boardroom.
Correct?
Creative agency is more creative side, boardroom business. So during the creative agency, there's an SMT student management team who are responsible basically for the whole module, all the groups, everything possible, events, communication with clients. It's a lot of work. We had our own office just like next to the studio, and it was a lot of fun. We were working from 9 to 5. We were like every day. Peter was also a part of SMT.
The semester before,
Yeah. And it's a lot of work, but we gained, I think, a lot of experience from that. That's great. And a lot of friends, too.
Yeah. Basically, if you're feeling very ambitious by the end of your first year and you want to take up more responsibility, the SMT is a team of roughly, I think it's 5 people now, 4 or 5
4 or
people,
5,
depending on the year, where people come together in a group and you get to essentially manage the whole module and the course,
Yeah.
which is super taxing, but also super rewarding,
Yeah,
right?
but you get to know, like, more students, teachers, oh
yeah.
my gosh, the whole school, and basically, yeah.
And even outside, like you get to organize master classes, which means you get to talk to so many people, so many actually interesting people from the field that come here. You get them to come here and give master classes, which is something you can look forward to in your next year, Shinta.
Definitely sounds like something I would want to do.
So in Creative Agency, we focus on design thinking, which is a method you will
Yeah.
learn all about later on, and it's basically all about the creativeness within us.
Mm-hmm.
And then the international boardroom.
Yeah, it's mostly businesses I already mentioned. For example, I was working with a production company from the US, and
Wow.
we had to create an export plan for them. So basically, to choose a country which is the best fit for them and write a whole report regarding culture, legal aspects, communication strategy, and all that stuff. But it's nice because, you're working with clients and they're like from the US. And they already, that company worked with a lot of really well-known channels like Discovery and etc., like Fox.
Yeah,
So
it was
great.
And we also get to learn a lot about finances, right? Because there's this, it's a bit difficult, it's a bit challenging, but it is very rewarding once you understand it. Because we get to
sure.
make whole Excel sheets of 20 pages with finances
That's
and
a lot,
everything.
a lot. And you have to link everything together.
Yeah.
A lot of numbers, which is
So you really do learn a lot in the second year. The first year is sort of a preparation for the second year,
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah.
It's the first stepping stone, and then the second year things really kick into gear, and you
Yeah.
really get to go sort of full throttle ahead. Okay, so
So excited.
you got this. Okay.
coming from your yawn, we're going to talk
My
about.
yawn?
Did you-
I
did you
didn't
not-
yawn. I didn't yawn.
Because I want to talk about a little seasonal dip
Oh, right.
that tends to happen for international students. It's homesickness. It's almost inevitable. So
Yeah.
far, most people I've talked to have gone through it in various levels.
Yeah.
And usually it happens from what I've heard around November.
December when it starts
Wintertime.
Wintertime, you
Yeah,
start
you don't
missing
want to get
home.
out of bed.
So if it's
yeah.
okay with you to share your
Yeah.
experience, so that the people
yeah.
can sort of
Okay.
relate to that.
Well, the first semester was the first term. I came in very excited more than anything, and it was still really warm out and really nice weather. So I was in my peak. I feel the beginning was great.
You get that rush.
Yeah, that rush, because I was just so excited, and completely new place, completely new people, everything. I was super excited, and then again this weather started changing, and I didn't think that seasonal depression was a thing, but apparently it really does affect coming from Spain, being used to really nice warm weather. This Dutch weather is something that I'm still trying to get used to. And obviously homesickness, the first month you're I'm away, I have freedom, and no parents, woo, and then you start it starts being 2 months and 3
Reality
months, and it's oh Jesus, I have to make my 3 meals a day myself every day, have to do the groceries. There's never, what I realized coming back home was there's always food in the fridge, and that's something that
Cherish that.
cherish that so much. But it's I had to get used to not depending on anyone, basically,
Right.
depending on myself fully, and trying to get out of a very not good state of like mind, especially when you're like not doing so well in school as well and everything. It's like really hard to like pick yourself back up basically. But I think if you surround yourself with the right people, they will help you get yourself like pick up yourself again. Wow, that was not right.
Yeah, it's all about the people.
Yeah, it's all
and-
about the people, definitely.
Yeah.
They are the ones who help you. or help
Okay,
me.
well, thank you very much for sharing that. The point is, it gets better.
Yeah, it
There
gets
is
better.
light
There is,
at
it
the end
is.
of the tunnel.
Yeah.
We're gonna move to the questions from the
Okay.
viewers at home.
Okay.
So, why did you choose to study in the Netherlands? Both of you. You can answer
yeah.
just one of you to answer. That's fine.
I was preparing my whole life to study in Germany, and then honestly, I was like
plan.
learning German, like, and then last grade of high school, I was just like, hell no, I'm not doing it. I'm just like, I want to move somewhere else.
Yeah, that
So
happened to me too. I was like my entire life, like UK, I'm going to the United Kingdom, that's where I'm going. And then I was like, my last year of high school, I was like, nope,
Yep, no.
the Netherlands.
Yeah, yeah.
Just completely changed my mind.
But also, like, it's the best decision that I've
yeah,
ever made.
same. I love the Netherlands so much, except the weather, but everything
Yeah,
else.
well, yeah.
Then this is to Alina. Was it hard to find the internship that you found? What was the process for you?
Honestly, it depends, because for some people it's really tough. But I think I just got lucky because it was like my first application and my first interview. But I got it. I was just like
Wow,
so
that's-
excited. Yeah.
Some people just get lucky,
But
or are really good. Some
Yeah.
people are just really good.
Stuff it. No, but I was like dreaming about working there like for 2 years. I was just like, I really need this. This is the only place I want to go to. So I feel like it's also in your mind. But all of my
Yeah.
friends, like even if like now, you know, the times are tough, but most of my friends found an internship. Like everyone is doing something and they're really excited about that one. So
Nice. So
You got this.
If you try, it's super easy, right? Barely an inconvenience. Good. That's really encouraging to hear, honestly, because I need to find my internship for the second
I'll help
semester.
you out.
so-
I'll help you out. No worries.
Okay, thank you. Now, another question that we have is, do the ICB and CB students get in contact as well, or do they stay more separated?
Realistically, they stay more separated. I think I'd still get along with some people from CB from intro week. Like the first week I came in, and they're Indonesian, so like instant click. Like, and I think I still talk to them once in a while. Like, no, I don't think I do still talk to them once in a while.
Yeah.
But like apart from that, you hardly bump into each other.
Yeah.
Like rarely,
That's
you rarely
true.
bump into each other.
Okay, for us it was a little different because when we did creative agency, we did it combined with
Okay.
CB and ICB streams.
Okay.
So we actually interacted with CB and ICB quite a lot, and it really mixed because we had a lot of events together. We had a lot of master
okay.
classes. The final event we had also. So
All right, I think it.
we had quite a lot of opportunities in the second year, but generally I would agree that for the most part it does depend on the people.
I guess so. Yeah, as well.
Because
If you
I know
look
some
for it.
friends who are Dutch, who communicate
yeah,
with. So
yeah.
it really depends on you.
It's all in
at
your
the end
hands,
of the day.
guys.
Yeah, it's all in your hands. So, do you have different subjects per module, or are they the same? So, for example, the lectures that we get. Generally, right, the lectures are different for each term because they cater to the skills that we require for that specific term.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
of course, for behind the scenes, you're going to get camera lectures, you're going to get storytelling lectures
Yeah.
for all areas. Do you remember what we had there? Like event planning,
Probably,
and,
yeah.
some finance,
Market
some legal,
research.
Yeah.
So it does depend on the module for sure.
I always hate like having to explain to people what subjects I do. I'm like,
Right?
uh,
It's just like a mix of everything,
yeah,
you know?
yeah, basically.
Oh, this is an interesting question that I'm quite curious about. Were you afraid at all at the beginning that you would not be able to cope with classes in a foreign language?
The thing is, I've always been to international British schools in my like all my entire life, so like I was not scared
Okay.
with English because I feel like I even speak English better than I do Spanish, and I don't even speak English
fair.
that well, so I was not that scared.
For me, I was like, because like my brother studied in Canada, and he was always like, when I was calling him, I was just like, hey, how are the classes? And he's just like, well, it's tough. I don't understand everything. I'm just like, oh well, God, I'm gonna be stupid. And then when I came here, I was just like, oh, that's easy. I love everything and I understand everything from the same day. Like it was so great, you know. But it's also like people make it better.
Of course. Everybody here is so relaxed.
Yeah.
There is maybe sometimes a little transitional period.
Of
Like,
course.
I remember the first time I went to ask a question to a teacher, I stumbled over my words so much. I was like, and I couldn't get the question out of me because it was the first time I had to speak English fluently, and I didn't know what I was doing, even though I thought I spoke English well, but I couldn't do anything.
Okay.
So there might be a transitional period, but again,
You got this.
once you get used to, if you made it here, if you made it this far, you're probably gonna be fine. So then we have another question, and that is, it's a bit more of a serious question. Why is Inholland so low in the school rankings? Now, in the past, we've had some dips, let's say, as far as Inholland. This was like, I think 9 or 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Inholland got into some trouble, some drama, that, you know, unfortunately made us lose some status internationally and locally as well.
Yeah.
However, the nice thing about it is that, you know, usually from the worst things, the best things then, you know, emerge.
Yeah.
Just like when we were talking about the dip, when it comes to being homesick, when that ends, it suddenly the peak comes back.
Yeah.
And what the crisis that happened 10 years ago caused was that suddenly people here changed their mindset and started really working like, you know, something happened, so let's pick up the pace and let's turn this around.
Yeah.
Because actually, you know, me and Alina, we're the first people doing the new study.
Yeah.
ICB, because before this, it was IMEM and MEM, which is a completely different
study.
They had tests. Can you imagine having tests?
No.
So it's really a completely different study than it used to be even like 3-4 years ago. So it's really hard to so far kind of tell, which can be a good thing and a bad thing to
We don't
tell
know. We'll
where
see.
it's gonna go. But so far, judging by what we've been able to experience and what we've gone through,
Yeah.
it's honestly been nothing but positive experiences. At least I think I'm talking for all three of us when I say that. So yeah, that I think that answers the question. Do you have something to add to that?
I think you said it all.
Yeah.
Honestly, we're improving. We're trying, and it's getting better. Honestly.
Yeah. And I also think that it comes because, like, since it's such a new, like, course, you know, like, you're the first one, obviously it can't be, like, high in rankings, this course, because it just started.
Nobody knows.
Basically, nobody knows. Like, it just started, basically, yeah.
But you can already see, because what matters is what results the students get, right, in real life. And you can already see, like, Alina getting an internship at Viacom. That's not something you would be able to do if, you know,
If
like,
it was bad,
you
yeah.
didn't know anything. Okay, the producer is telling me that we're running low on time, so let's speed run the other questions. So, do you have a lot of freedom, or are you left on your own? We already discussed that, I
Yeah,
think,
so
that you have
freedom.
so much freedom
Yeah.
to do whatever you want, which is great. It can be a double-edged sword, but generally great.
Yeah.
What are the disadvantages of the study? What do you think, would be like,
I miss theoretical parts sometimes because you know in my school we already always were like theory. So now
Right.
it's just like practice.
especially
But
coming
we
from
do have
Eastern
theory,
Europe?
too.
Yeah,
We
but
do have
like,
theory, but not
it
as...
depends on what you prefer and how
Right.
like what was your experience before and what you're used to. I think.
Yeah, because what we're always told is that the study is not for everybody, for sure.
Right,
Yeah.
definitely.
If you feel like Alina just said, if you just want books and then like just sit there,
Then it's research university.
probably
but-
not University of
No.
Applied Sciences, you know. So
Yeah.
those are, I think, it's a disadvantage for some people, but it really depends on who you are and what you prefer to do,
Yeah.
and picking the right place.
I think that it's also a disadvantage that since you have so much freedom, someone like me, who maybe sometimes lacks the dedication, can have a hard time with the study because I have way too much freedom to actually make myself work, basically.
yeah.
But I'm learning so much, I feel like, to get dedicated, you know? Like, I've always had someone to tell me what to do, and now I have to, like, do
now
it
it's just
myself.
like, you don't do it, that's
It's
fine.
Yeah, that's fine. And it's like, well, it's not, because I'm not going to be able to pass the next year. So,
Yeah. Okay. So how do you think the online classes will affect socializing and getting to know your fellow classmates?
I mean, we experienced that too.
No, it was hard. It's definitely very different to what you're used to, right? So
Yeah.
it is not easy.
It has its highs and lows for sure, but I feel like you still can be in contact with your classmates,
Yeah,
like and
definitely.
friends. It was, for example, when it all started, going back to theater, we had our own calls. We had like talent shows online.
Yeah.
We were doing. It was
Yeah,
so much fun.
Yeah.
We were like playing Cards Against Humanity, then like drawing stuff. It was just random stuff, but it was great. So
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
still be in contact.
Okay.
Right, definitely.
Nice. Yeah.
There's
So
ways.
it's definitely doable with the right people.
Yeah.
So do you guys have a job, and how do you combine that with your study?
I've been trying to look for one. Haven't found one yet.
Have you really been trying, Shinta?
Not enough. Obviously not enough. So I can't answer that question. I wish I could.
Yeah, I had a job. I just quit because my internship starts. But I was working for like almost a year at a hotel for breakfast twice a week because I'm not from the European Union, so I'm allowed to. Okay, allowed to work like more than 16 hours a week. But it's like possible. Honestly, you have like again freedom, so you can combine it with work, and most of our friends work too.
Yeah.
So you know, you can do this. You got this.
Well, thank you very much, guys, for
you.
your time. It's been lovely talking to you. Our viewers have been spamming the chat about you guys.
You better.
Which, you know, doesn't make me depressed at all. But you know, it's fine. No, I'm. Thank you very much.
Yes,
You've been
thank
great.
you.
I'm sure the viewers loved it, and hopefully, you know, see you soon.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
See you too.
Yeah. Bye bye. We're gonna cut to break, I think. Is this the awkward stare?
Losing track under the water, searching for something that I've been